If you were to start all over again,
Yep.
from scratch,
Yes.
no budget,
Yes.
and you wanted to start a tech company, what would you do?
I'd go work for somebody that I admire for free for 4 years.
Could you name someone you admire?
I would try to get to Jeff Bezos and work for him for free.
For free?
For free. For 4 years. I would literally sleep on the couch of an acquaintance and eat fast food for 99 cents a day for 4 years to work for Jeff Bezos. Fuck, I might be willing to do that right now. I believe that in 20 years, it will be commonplace for individuals to pay the best business leaders to work for them, not the other way around. It's a very weird thing that's starting to manifest in my head because it's just black and white to me that that's where the value is. Get as close to the sun of the thing that you want to be and you will win if you're capable. And you hear that, now that I've gotten curious about it, you start watching these documentaries or you dig into the successful people, the amount of people that started off as grabbing coffee for the guy or the gal they wanted to be and then became it. I would do that, my man. I would, the thing is, it's back to guessing. It's funny, the Bezos thing or somebody else. The other thing I would do is try to get very close to the voice space. But it's funny how I don't want to go there because I wouldn't know which founder was the good one to build on top of the voice space. So I went to the platform or something that I established. But I genuinely believe that when you're young, time is your biggest leverage, and that what you should do is build leverage with the leaders of the world that you want. If you want to be a hip hop mogul, go work for Puff Daddy for free for 3 years, right? We're so pressured by our parents to start making money at 22, 23. I think everybody should legitimately have a totally different strategy from 22 to 30. For everybody here over 45, you know how young 30 is. And I think everybody here who's 45, 50, if I said, hey, what about spending 22 to 30 and only working for the person that you admired the most for free? I think a lot more people would have taken that up on than what they actually did, which is do bullshit to pay for their rent and like just dumb shit. Like very intriguing to me that that's where the leverage is gonna go. If you wanna be a great creative, whoever the 10 best creative directors in the world now have the leverage. So that's what I would do. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Patience.
It is the imperative foundation of anything that is long-term successful.
Why?
Because when you are an impatient person or organization, you tend to make short-term decisions which have been proven historically as something that creates a vulnerable usually to long-term growth. What's up, vlog? Just going to the airport now in Oslo on our way to Copenhagen, then to Moscow, back in the USSR, as they say. Good talk this morning at breakfast. Just did a huge meeting with Eric in the back of the cab. So many people wasting time. I just basically had a London office meeting on the way here. That's how you hack it. Sometimes having somebody travel, the expense is worth it because the ROI of the meeting in the serendipity things like a cab ride make it ROI positive. Continue to hack your time for your dollars.
We're good. Just checking the lighting.
So close, but so far. Working so hard.
I tweeted the other day 0% of zero is zero. A lot of people laughed and made jokes, but it's funny, somebody was negotiating against me in some business world where they were gonna take zero commission on this thing. I don't wanna be too specific. Anyway, which I replied to the person that they were pitching it to. I'm like, cool. when they bring you nothing, it's not gonna matter. 0% of 0 is 0 for that company, that person. So you can pass on my 20%, but when I bring 400,000, you'd get 320. When that person brings you 0, you're gonna get 0. Always wonder why somebody's willing to work on 0 commission. It's either because they're unbelievable and they're making money in some other spot in that overall relationship, or it's because they can't deliver in that craft. This situation was the second one. That entity's not gonna bring you anything.
People love you, man.
Because I love them first.
Whew, man, I waited 3 hours. I have to go in one other city and only just
You got it.
because of you. Thanks for everything, man.
You're welcome, man. I think people should sleep 6, 7, 8 hours depending on your body. I'm a huge advocate in what the fuck are you doing the other 18 hours, right? And so when I hear your question, the answer is of course you should. You know you should. You know you should test. Everybody here should spend meaningful amounts of time testing everything. Everything. You know, that's what you're supposed to be doing because you don't know the answer for your specific nuance if LinkedIn or a podcast or influencer marketing or, you know, you don't know if that's gonna be the turning point. And what you're doing is you're doing too many things. People are keeping their time precious when it's their biggest asset. People are not reinvesting money back into their business because they want to buy dumb shit. People are not trying things because if they fail, they worry about what other people think about that failure. And so we're all, you know, the answer is yes to everything. I literally, fuck it, I'm like, yes, and I can leave and go fucking fly to LA right now. Because the next 3 hours is yes. It is, it's yes. So, of course you should. Like, what are you doing for 18 hours a day? Find an hour and do it for an hour every day to get to the answer. And then also understand that the first 10 times you do it, it might not be right. Because it's like, you know, I always talk about the ROI. People are like, what's the ROI of influencers or VR or the ROI of those 10 hours reaching out to influencers? The ROI of a basketball is very different to people. To me, it's nothing. To LeBron James, it's $1 billion. So all this stuff works. It's are you good at it is a whole nother question. So it's not just the ROI of trying it, then you gotta get good at it. Nothing you're good at right now, you were so great at the first time you tried it. So, of course, man, like everything that's happening, you need to figure out how it works for your business, B2B, B2C, personal brand. The question is, what are you doing with your time? You know? And so that's why I get mad at people who want to be an entrepreneur and watch 4 hours of Netflix a weekend. And by the way, people need escapism, you need to check out, you need to rest, you have to be in a mental place. But the scrutiny that we have to put on our time as young entrepreneurs, you know, it's just time or money. Talent is the variable that sits in, but the assets that you're sitting with in the beginning are time, and then you amass money, and then you can use the money to save time, and you're just going back and forth. And everybody wants these big dreams, and they're not willing to work at the level they need to when that's the advantage they have. So, fuck yes, you should. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the flight to Moscow. And more importantly, Moscow to LA.
What are we doing in
That's crazy.
We're in the airport for 8 hours.
Hanging out?
I assume we have lounge, and we're just gonna fall asleep in the corner on a chair that looks like this. That's what we're gonna do. I mean, it's gonna be, honestly, I'm very excited. I've never been to the USSR since I've left in 1970. So it's actually a fun day, but I can't leave.
But you can't leave, right? Because
No,
you need a visa.
you need a visa, and I didn't know I didn't even know until 2 days ago we were connecting through Moscow.
That would have been nice though, just 8 hours. Yeah.
Just to run to Red Square and do a meetup would have been awesome. It's inspired me to want to go back. I don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah, I'm tired. Felt pretty good about that. Really excited to see everybody here in Copenhagen. Incredible city. Really good day.
Yeah, great.
Got some good
We have a
content.
lot to go yet.
There's a lot to go. Yes, we have to go to the airport. We gotta go.
We have like 4 or 5
Four-hour flight to Moscow. 8-hour layover to
You have a
Moscow.
drinks meeting?
I have a drinks meeting.
That's where you gotta go next.
I'm a much bigger brand than VaynerMedia,
Yeah.
yet I service no clients.
Okay.
And it was because I knew that was the trap hole. And you know, again, remember when I said I fucked up with Google?
Yeah, yeah.
When you do it, you know, you did the right thing. But now the right thing in this mature state, when you recognize it, is the power of no. Because if we're here 3 years later and you're like, Gary, remember? I'm like, yeah, the guy with the 2 earrings. Like, now there's no excuse. Now that you know, now it's just down to execution. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways to go about it. You're like, I'm sorry, you can't have me. I've built it up. I've built my team. Or you can go a different route. Oh, okay, Rick, Sarah, you know, Hans, Schmans, like, you want me? Well, what we told you, $5,000 a month, is actually $30,000 a month if you want me. There's a lot of moves that you can have. There's always gonna be an excuse. You're 100% in charge. You know what the issue is. Either address it or don't.
Okay.
There's one of two ways. You do what I've scaled that, and I've done it by hiring around 2 things. 1, everything I don't want to do. 2, everything that I know I'm not as good at than the other things that I spend my time on. Which means I spend 30% of my time on HR. Like, you look at my calendar, I'm just meeting with my employees, talking about somebody else that they're mad at. But that's what I do so special, that allows me to build what I build, right? So it's about leaving money on the table in the short term, my friend. You're trying to maximize the profit instead of reinvesting it into people and having people do B versus your A. It's about building a business in 5 years instead of 1 year. Similar to him. Nobody wants to give up the short term. He says yes for another 50,000 or 25,000 or 2,000 a month or whatever it is, instead of saying no. And then, you know, because it's exciting to people get caught up in top line revenue or profit. And it's always about tweaking those 2 things. Also, ego hurts these stories a lot. You like the feeling of being the best of the best. I listen to every word, you know?